Here we have a new 2026 Chrysler Pacifica. This one comes in the limited trim level. We have the S Appearance package as well. Love this color, red hot pearl. And then we have the black Napa leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated V6 that's made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission. So I've actually owned a Pacifica hybrid, just traded it in. So we're gonna see how this compares to my Touring L. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. We also get the LED fog lights as well. And I just think ever since these got that total redesign, since they brought the vehicle back, but especially since it got its refresh in 22, this is just one of the best looking minivans on the market. It still looks sleek. It still has that kind of Stellantis-esque or Chrysler-esque, depending on how you want to look at it, you know, look to it, where it still looks cool no matter what it is, like the Durangos, like the Challengers, the Chargers. As we come around these wheels, these are going to be 20-inch aluminum. And I love that kind of smoke look to it as well. It goes really well with the black accents around the windows, the mirrors, and all of that. But we get passive keyless entry all around. Door panel here. Memory seat functions. We get one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors. Power door lock controls, rear window lock. Power folding side mirrors. And then those do have blind spot monitors and they're heated. I don't think my Touring L had the power folding mirrors, but I'm already seeing quite a bit that this has with it being loaded out. Headlamp controls, fog lights, hood release, manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. There's a little stowaway section underneath there. And here's the power driver's seat. We do get 4-way power lumbar support here. And I love the stitching on this leather. Looks nice, feels nice. Perforated because you do get heated, cooled seats. And I'll show you where the controls are for that in a minute. But I want to give a huge thanks to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Franklin here in Franklin, Tennessee for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But here's my leg room behind, having the seat adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so not terrible. What I do like is, in these vans, and again, I've had a Touring L hybrid for a long time, I'm able to just put my legs out here, but then I can also recline the seat, and that kind of helps in my space as well. Now, one thing that my Touring L did not have that this Limited has is the blinds here. Now, mine's a 22, was a 22. This is a 26, and I always complain about not seeing these in the Pacifica, so I'm so glad they finally decided to add these because they're a game changer, especially if you have infants or toddlers back here trying to take a nap. But USB-C and a USB-A duo on the back of either seat there. I will say my only issue with these, it's easy to see, easy to use, but I was always hitting my knee or hitting the seat or something against these because they poke out there. So seat back pockets on both sides. And that didn't necessarily mess up the charge ports, but it broke a few cords. And there's a look at the front from back here. Now with this one having a panoramic sunroof, that is what the sunshade looks like. I apologize, it's kind of dark in here. These do have window tint. Well, this vehicle in particular has window tint. And there's a look at the third row. Third row has pretty good space. I wouldn't sit back there necessarily, but I probably could fit if I needed to. You got a USB-A port on that side, just a bottle holder here, but you get 2 bottle holders in storage there. So that's gonna be the side to sit on if you wanna get that electricity going for your phone, iPad, whatever. And then we do have the vents in the roof liner, and that was always a nice touch for me. And then we can hang a shirt or pair of pants there. And then you do have the automatic rear AC controls over here. You can adjust those. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, bottle holders right here with storage. That was always nice. We always just kind of threw stuff in there though. That was the only problem. It just kind of collected all of our junk, but good problem to have because it could be all over the floor. And then 2-stage heated seats, and the heated seat button is on the door itself. Now another thing, whenever I was pumping gas and if I wanted to open that door, I always had to remember that this was open because it wouldn't allow me to open the door if I had popped this first. So that button, maybe this one doesn't have it. Yeah, so this one you can just click on. Maybe because mine was a hybrid, but I always had, and I'm glad they did that too, but I always had to hit the button on my 22 right there to open the gas cap. So they might have fixed that here recently, and I'm glad they did that. It's not lockable, unfortunately, but just makes it easier to have less problems with it if that makes sense. Back in here, full LED tail light bar here. And again, a nice look for this Pacifica. I love, love, love this. This is one of my favorite things about the van because it just made it look so good. Rear parking sensors integrated in that bumper there. There's a look underneath. Now mine was a hybrid, and mine, I got it in 22, so right, during all the COVID nonsense, so I didn't even have rear parking sensors on mine. I think I got like a small credit for that, but still have the backup camera. Now here, you can fold these seats into the floor if you want to do that, and it's kind of a two-hand process. You want to pull up here, and then once that folds, you kind of like grab that, and it stows in there. So just keep that in mind. I like this design too, having the lower anchors in the seat itself, and then being able to just pop these up. It's very easy process, again, with two hands. Just kind of hard to show while filming. And then a really deep pocket down there, 12 volt here. And then to shut this, just hit that button. And again, I apologize for the wind noise that's coming through. It's a beautiful day, so I'll take it. And then here, if you're in the back seat, just pull up here. Pretty easy to just tilt that forward. And easy to put it back as well. And then you can fold this flat right there. You can also stow and go it as well. If you want to kind of get all that out the way, you have to go through that process and put it into the floor. That's one thing that my hybrid didn't have, but wasn't really a big deal for me. And then you have the lower anchors right there. Front passenger seat. Now this is power, but we only get two-way power lumbar support there. I think mine was manual with the Touring L. So again, this limited with the S Appearance package has so much more than my Touring L hybrid did, but mine was a hybrid. So lockable glove compartment here. And then I'm gonna let you all take a look at the window sticker. Y'all can pause anywhere you need to if you wanna take a closer look at anything. It's laminated, so I apologize for any glare coming through there. And then $54,310 is that sticker price. Now as we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. There's that 3.6 liter V6. And before we hop in the driver's seat, just gonna show off the blinkers. So again, full LEDs throughout. And then that blinker is halogen, or incandescent, whatever, but everything else is LED. Kinda, I don't know. I would've just put an LED in there, but whatever. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. Over here to the radio, we do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth. We also get wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. I'm so used to this system, and it's so great because it's so easy to use. Hit that right there to get your climate controls, the rear, you can do that. And then you have the 3-stage heated cooled seats, or 2-stage, excuse me. And then you have the heated steering wheel toggle there. Everything just makes sense where it is. Dual zone climate controls for the front. And this kind of gives you everything. You have buttons and knobs down below as well. And then for the radio, auto stop toggle, the lane sensing, you can turn that on or off, volume controls, all of that. Navigation system is here. Pretty easy to use that as well, just search. And then your vehicle, you can see the surround camera. And this one thing that my Touring L did not have, this top view is awesome for parking, but also just to make sure as you're getting in a close spot, you're not hitting something on this side while you're, backing up, you can see everything. And it's kind of like a danger zone too. I like how they did that. And there's a front view. So crazy how many different views you get here. And then your settings, you can change your language here if you want to. And then your units of measurement right there. A lot of other things you can do here. The display mode and change the brightness and all of that. And then you have your app setting here, so you can go through the categories and see all of your different applications that you can use. Now, with mine being a hybrid, I always would put it in the low mode because that would give me the regenerative braking. This is actually a limiter, so then there's drive, neutral, reverse, park. Your electronic parking brake, you just press it in, then hit the brake, press down and disengage. Wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C ports, and that's interesting that they went with that as opposed to an A and a C like I see in most vehicles in general. And then pretty good storage pocket there, bottle holders, and then use this a lot. You can put your coins in there, USB-C, USB-A duo there, and a 12-volt, stow all that. And there's a look at the back seat from up here. And then over here, you have the sunshade controls, then you have the roof control, then you can tilt there. But you do have to do the shade and the roof one at a time. And then while that's still going back, lights are here, lift gate, power doors, sunglasses holder. That's how far the roof goes back. There's look at the back from up here. And then nice LED lights throughout. Garage door transmitter here. And then we do have a vanity mirror here. Now back to the steering wheel. Left side stalk, blinkers, high beams. And then we have our wipers here. And then when it has the auto sense wipers, you can just put it on that first level and then it'll kind of just set it for the auto wipers, and then rear wipers here. And then pull for front fluid, push for rear fluid. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, we can go through the track list, radio station. And then on the right side, volume up, down. And these 4 arrows go through the middle part of the gauge cluster. We can change what's seen there. Tire pressure monitors, fuel economy, whatever. Then Bluetooth controls, voice recognition. And then we do have the standard cruise controls here. Turn on the adaptive cruise there, and then you can adjust the gap back and forth there. And then push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2026 Pacifica Limited out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Pacifica here, I love these vans because they're so easy to drive. They're so comfortable. They're just so easy to use in general. Whether you're needing to have space for 7 passengers, or you're needing to fold down all the seats to go to Lowe's and get plywood, whatever it is, this thing's ready to go in terms of what you are able to do based on different scenarios. Now, I had a plug-in hybrid, and I bring that up because I know these vans like the back of my hand. I know a bit about the Odysseys, I know a bit about the Siennas, you know, but the Pacifica Hybrid, I've owned one for 72,000 miles, almost 4 years. So I kind of know the ins and outs of the van itself. So these ride so well, like any minivan would. This one having the 9-speed automatic as opposed to the ECVT. I never thought I would say this, but Chrysler did a good job. I don't know where they got the transmission itself from, but the ECVT was so great in terms of how it drove, at least for me, because you're able to switch between that electric motor gas engine duo there, depending on your charge, whether you're using your regen brake and all of that, and it just made it so efficient. If I kept it charging when I was supposed to, it pretty much got, I'd say, 40 miles per gallon on average, because when I was on the highway, you stay around 70, 75, you're pretty efficient, and then when you're in the EV mode, you're just getting that electric efficiency there from the electric motor. So it was just a great vehicle for me. I rarely went to the gas station. Sometimes my significant other would, well, she really very rarely charged it, and that was a big thing there. And then our previous living situation wasn't the best because I have a Mustang Mach-E, which is fully electric. And then we only had one charger. So a lot of the times, depending on what was going on, somebody would forget to change the charger or so on and so forth. And plus, it only had 32, 35 miles of range, and we did at least that every day driving. But I just think that powertrain is very, very cool for what it is. Now, the tried and true V6 with its 9-speed here, also very solid, especially if you do a lot of longer road trips where you won't be able to charge as much. But for me, having that plug-in hybrid was a big plus. So I'm gonna try to give it a pull whenever I can here. Pretty tight traffic today. Here we go. So overall pulling power is really good. Again, for this to be a V6, be pulling this somewhat heavier vehicle. But it's a really nice van overall. Just how plush it is, how nice it is, specifically in this limited trim with the S appearance package. It's just, it's great. Now, to the van itself, I know a little bit earlier I was talking about the plug-in hybrid variant, but you know, that's what I know. The van overall, again, rides extremely well. Really easy to get the car seat in and out of here. Just what you would expect a minivan to be able to achieve for you. That's what this does. It's a fantastic minivan. It's, again, easy to drive. Whether you get the V6 or the plug-in V6, relatively efficient. You're getting 19 miles per gallon city, 28 highway. But I mean, this thing floats down the road. It rides so well. And sometimes that can be a good thing or a bad thing. When I'm trying to get my kid to sleep, I always like to put her in my Mustang Mach-E because that thing rides rough. It's very stiff. I mean, it's a Mustang, so. But here, this is just very comfortable for longer road trips. It's very comfortable if you have back problems, whatever. It's just, it's really nice again. And as you can hear in here, the sound acoustics are pretty good, relatively quiet in the cabin. Road noise, not a big issue, even on these 20s. Now, I have my Touring L with the smaller wheels. You could barely hear the road. I think I got the tires changed out, and I could tell there was a big difference between the sound coming from the tires, but overall, I mean, still quiet. But it's just it's a great minivan. Again, it has everything: push button start, easy to use shifter, easy to drive. It's just very, the steering is what gets me. It's not stiff, but I actually like how this drives. It doesn't feel flimsy or loose. It's just not too much. And that's a big plus when you're looking at a vehicle like this. But I think a great van again, especially with this one being a limited, having that S appearance package, highly recommend. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Chrysler Pacifica Limited.